What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Gotta fix this real quick. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another Lions Talk. Welcome in. We are starting a little bit later today. I couldn't start at the normal time of 1 p.m., so that was unfortunate, but I did want to get a stream in today. I did want to, have some Lions content for you guys. And, if you guys like it better later, if you guys like it at 5 o'clock instead of 1 o'clock, or you want to meet in the middle at 3 or whatever, just leave it down in the comments below because my schedule is going to be very flexible very, very soon. So whatever you guys want, that is what we can do in the future. Now, as people get in here, there are 2 people in here right now from what I can see. Well, thank you all for being here early and being here on time. But to start, as people kind of join in, I wanted to start with this. As the first week of OTAs are officially over for the Detroit Lions, of course, there are going to be some big time takeaways. There are going to be, that one works better. There are going to be obviously some takeaways from the first week of OTAs, both positively and negatively. And I wanted to go over it today. I want to kind of go over the big ones on the Lions website, kind of the first things that come up, and kind of give my opinion, kind of give a thought on it. So the first thing on here, of course, is the player turnout. Of course, OTAs, you are very much encouraged to be there, but there are a lot of players every single year that do not show up. There are a lot of players every single year that are not always, I guess, willing to go to OTAs, the off-season trainings. So, I mean, it is unfortunate, but the Lions did have a very good turnout. They had, as it says, over 80 players of the 90-man roster taking part in the first week of OTAs. It's, of course, a really good turnout for the Lions. That is probably, I would assume, one of the highest numbers in the entire league. It's one of the best turnouts in the entire league, and I think that speaks volumes to Dan Campbell. I think that speaks volumes to the fact that these players want to play for him, that these players want to be here. They're not being forced. They're not, disliking him already, anything like that. They want to play for him. There's a reason that they're here. It's to work hard. It's to get better. It's to win football games. And they're doing that right now. At least they're getting in a position. They're putting themselves in a position to do that right now. Of course, 80 of the 90 players, that is a very good percentage of our players showing up. And it's not just like the backup guys either, right? Frank Ragnow has been there. DeAndre Swift has been there. You have some other big name guys. You have, of course, the big name rookie. You have Penny Sewell, who was there. Pretty much the whole offensive line was there. Most of our running backs were there. Jared Goff was there. All the big name players were at the OTAs this week, which is a really good turnout. And I think, again, speaks volumes to Dan Campbell's ability to get these players to want to play football. Ghost Gunner is the first person in the chat today. Says, I believe it's 83 because Brockers is going now. I don't know why Brockers wasn't there in the first place, but I'm glad he's there now. And 83 out of 90 is a really good turnout. If you have the list of players that aren't there yet, I'd be really, really interested. But again, 83 out of 90 is a really, really solid turnout. One Pride 40 is in the building today. Says, what is up? How you doing, One Pride 40? Glad to see you here today to talk some Lions football. Again, kind of the first takeaway, just the massive turnout for this team. I think it's a good thing for this team. I think it shows a lot and says a lot about this team. When Friday 40 says, why so late? I was in Kalamazoo this morning doing some other things, and I could not be home by 1. So I figured I still wanted to get a stream out today. So, I had something out in Kalamazoo that I had to take care of. So, so we're starting a little bit late today, but again, still want to get some Lions content out there for you. So, if you guys like it later, that's totally cool too. If you guys like it better at 5 p.m., kind of winding down the day, maybe you're getting home from other things, it is what it is. But, again, just let me know what you guys like and what you guys would prefer. One Part 40 says, I'm multitasking, watching my pup and watching the stream. Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate you showing up. Tim White is in the building, says, what do you think the Lions record would be? I think the Lions are going to be a 7-9 win football team. I think without Aaron Rodgers in the NFC North, I think if Aaron Rodgers is traded, I think they go 9-8. And I think if Aaron Rodgers is in the division, I think they're 7-10. I think it's somewhere in there. It really depends one way or the other, of course, with that big Rodgers news. But I think the Lions, depending on the Rodgers thing, are a 7-9 win football team. And of course, they might upset the Packers here and there. Of course, there are going to be games that they shouldn't win that they do, and there are going to be games that they should win that they don't. So personally, I see them as a 7-9 win football team, and really getting this, I guess, rebuild off to a really solid start. C. Perry says, what up, Doe? How you doing today? Glad to see you in the building. Glad to see you here. The second takeaway that we have this week, catching on as the I guess catchy bold letters would say. It says catching balls launched high into the air by the jugs machine as if from Phil Mickelson. Gap wedge is no easy task, but cornerback Jeff Okudah made it look easy in one drill. He sprinted down the left sideline and caught one with his arms fully extended. I mean, again, Jeff Okudah, from what I've heard, is improved a lot. From what I've heard from the coaches, from what I've heard from the media, everything, it sounds like Jeff Okudah is really starting to find his groove, really starting to find his spot in the NFL. And, especially if he can have good hands, that's another thing that could just make him that much better. One part 4 says, Eagles fans think they're beating us. The Lions, no, the Eagles are not. Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Lions are way better than the Eagles. Looney Tunes in the building says, yo, how you doing, Looney Tune? Glad to see you here. Tim White says, who do you think will be the Lions? Will the Lions be breakout stars? So I think there are a couple players. I think Quintez Cephas could break out. He showed a lot of good things last year, got some good separation. If he works on his hands a little bit, gets a little bit more consistent there, I think he can have a really good season, especially with the wide receiver core not being necessarily the strength of the team. I think that Quintez Cephas can have a really big year. Same thing kind of with TJ Hawkinson. TJ, of course, is already a Pro Bowl tight end, but I really think that with Jared Goff and his connection with TJ Hawkinson, which we will talk about in a minute when we get down the list a little bit more with the takeaways, I think TJ Hawkinson can have a 1,000-yard receiving season. I think TJ can break that 1,000-yard mark. I think he can solidify himself as a top 3 tight end in the NFL, and I think he can be really, really solid. On defense, I think Julian Okwara can have a big year. Kind of a rotational guy, a guy that may not get the most snaps, but if you give him 15 to 20 snaps a game, I think he can do some damage with that. I think Julian can break out this year and have a good year. Logan Stenberg, I think, is going to have a chance. I'm excited to see him in preseason. I don't know if he's going to get the start, but I think he'll be really solid this year. Jeff Okudah is the same way. I think Jeff Okudah is going to have a big breakout year this year as well. So those are kind of my guys that I'll be looking out for. I'll be talking smack to them. What Looney Tunes says that I missed something. Now Eagles fans are just being delusional Eagles fans, thinking that they're a Super Bowl contender when that is very far from the truth. Now, this, I think, was the biggest takeaway of OTAs. Yeah, one part 40 says I was smack talking Eagles fans because they were being real goofy. But yeah, so this is the biggest takeaway right here. Right, is Jared Goff, because I think the Lions season is predicated on what Jared Goff is going to be able to do for this Lions team. How well is he going to be able to throw a ball? How comfortable is he going to look in this offense? How good and how accurately is he going to be able to deliver to these weapons? I think it's going to really indicate whether or not this Lions team is going to have success next year. Now, in the first look at Jared Goff in the first week, it says the Lions ran about 10 reps on a live 7-on-7, and quarterback Jared Goff looked very sharp in the period for the most part. He said it hooked up with TJ Hawkinson on a beautiful deep out and hit running back DeAndre Swift on a crosser for a big gain. Watch for Hawkinson and Swift to be big parts of the passing game. And I think that's kind of what I was talking about the other day. Hawkinson and Swift were both top 5 receivers in this offense a season ago. And Jared Goff, from what I've seen, at least in LA, is not afraid to use his tight ends and is definitely not afraid to get his running backs involved in the passing game. And I think both of them are going to be at really, really big seasons through the year. TJ, I think, is going to be the number 1 weapon in Detroit. I think he's the best receiver we have right now in any room. And then DeAndre Swift is just a versatile weapon all over the field. And, it's really good to see Jared Goff is looking sharp. It's very good to see he's building a connection early with TJ and DeAndre, probably his 2 best weapons on the entire team. I'm very excited and I'm very happy to hear this news because, honestly, Jared Goff, I think, should be a good quarterback, but until he hits the field, we're not going to know. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Ghost Gunner says, I hope Jayshon Cornell breaks out in camp. I hope so, too. I think he's a very forgotten guy. 7th round pick a year ago, I believe, tore his Achilles early in training camp. Really, really unfortunate. I don't know if he's going to make the team because that interior defensive line is pretty solid. It really does. I mean, obviously you have Michael Brockers, you have Aleem McNeil, you have Levi Anzuriki who's going to make the team. John Pennicini is likely going to make the team. They've been talking up to Sean Hand a ton this year, so that's 5 already. And I think that last spot is going to go to either maybe Kevin Strong or Jayshon Cornell. I think they're really going to fight for that last spot. If they carry 6 at all. I don't know how many, defensive linemen they're going to carry. I don't know how many interior defensive linemen, how many edge rushers they're going to carry. I think Jayshon can do a little bit of both, which I think that versatility gives him a little bit of an edge over maybe a Kevin Strong. But yeah, the depth this year is really good at defensive tackle. I'd like to see Jay Sean. I'm excited to see him in the preseason, and hopefully he breaks out. I'm very excited to see him as well. Tim White says, how about Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perryman and Sage Surratt and Jonathan Adams Jr.? I think Tyrell is going to be fine. Again, I think Tyrell is more than capable of replacing Marvin Jones's production. Brashad Perryman is a big play threat. Definitely needs to be a little bit more consistent with his hands and, both in the route and, of course, just securing the football. And then Sage Surratt and Jonathan Adams, I think one of them is going to make the team and the other is going to make the practice squad. They both kind of have a similar role. They both kind of have a similar skill set. I don't see both making the roster right now, but I think one of them makes the roster. I think one of them makes the practice squad this year. Tony Hawley says, I think they're going to have like 2 or 3 breakout stars, but our record's not going to be, or it's not going to show it, 5-6 win team. Like I said, I think we're a little bit better than that. I think we're 7-9, depending on the whole Rodgers situation, depending on some other stuff, but I think we're 7-9 team. I really, really do. And I went over that in the last stream, and I have actually a video coming out on that probably tomorrow. One Prep 40 says Goff should be decent if you don't make him the focal point. If they do, then that's a mistake. I agree. I think if you give Jared Goff kind of a game manager type role where you give him 18 to 23, 25 passes a game and you just kind of let him control the game, give him some easy reads, give him, some simple outs, give him, not anything super complicated. Don't make him get to his 4th, 5th read on the play. Give him, 2, 3 reads max where it's like, you see it, you throw it, something quick, something easy, and then maybe you take your shots here and there because Jared Goff does have arm talent. Jared Goff can get the ball down the field. I don't think he's as talented as far as like throwing ability as Matthew Stafford, but Jared Goff definitely has some talent in that arm. He's still a young guy, can still throw the ball pretty well downfield, definitely has some accuracy traits that I'm a fan of. So, I think Jared Goff should get 18 to 23 passes a game and, be a game manager because honestly, the best quarterbacks in the NFL, they're game managers. The best teams in the NFL have game managers at quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, for the most part, is a game manager. Russell Wilson, is on the good days, he's a game manager. Like the best teams, their quarterbacks don't have to be superheroes. They have to manage the game and not lose the football game, and that's why they're good football teams. One Prefer says, and we're beating the Bengals. I think we should. They said our O-line sucks. Yeah, everybody's already calling Penei Sewell a bust because he said that transitioning to right tackle was not like Madden and you could not just flip a switch. People are going to be people. Looney Tune says TJ was underutilized by the past coaching staff. In my opinion, I agree 100%. And I'm told that Frank Ragnow is Fletcher Cox's dad. Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to have a hard time for him to make the team. Yeah, I think Jay Sean he's definitely going to have a tough time, but I think that he's going to have a chance. I think he's going to show some people. Okay, now they going off. They out they mind. Yeah. Eagles fans are not. I've met some cool Eagles fans, don't get me wrong, but I'd say a majority are definitely not crazy. I'd say a majority are crazy. Sorry. I'd say a majority of them are not necessarily the smartest people. I hope Cornell makes it and we should sign Gurley. I wouldn't be mad at Gurley. I think if Todd Gurley, if the deal is right, if it's like a really small, like 1 year, $1.1 million deal or something, a veteran minimum, I wouldn't be upset at that. I definitely wouldn't be upset at like a 1 year league minimum deal. Todd Gurley, he's basically Kerryon Johnson, just a little bit better. We just got rid of Kerryon. I don't think we need Todd Gurley, but Todd Gurley would definitely bring another guy into this team that, has some experience, can definitely run the football. Isn't obviously the offensive player of the year that he was a couple years ago, but is still really, really solid. I would not be mad at that at all. If Adams makes it over Surratt, I say Adam makes it over Surratt, if anything. I agree. I think Adams will make it over Surratt, but I think it'll be a fun battle in the preseason for sure. I think we could win 9 games. That's exactly where I'm at right now. I have us at 9 wins right now, assuming Aaron Rodgers is traded or retires. One Fred 40 says, lol, that's so dumb. Stoll would be just fine. I'm right there with you. And they kind of compared this, and this is kind of how I see it, like transitioning from left tackle to right tackle is kind of like learning to write with your non-dominant hand, right? You go your whole life writing with, if say you're right-handed like I am, you go your whole life writing with your right hand, and somebody says, okay, write your name with your left hand. yeah, the first time might not look super clean and pretty, but if you do it 100 times, 1,000 times, you're going to get pretty good at writing with your left hand, and you're going to be just fine. You're going to be ambidextrous at that point. Penny Sewell is going to get hundreds, if not thousands, of snaps before week 1 at right tackle in OTAs and preseasons and training camps. He is going to get so many reps that by the time the season rolls around, he's going to be fine. He's going to be comfortable. He's going to be good to go. I have absolutely no worries right now. He doesn't seem stressed about it. The team does not seem stressed about it. I'm not stressed about it. Like I said, he's going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of reps. So, I mean, it's not Madden. It's not. So, I mean, yeah, if you change somebody's position, they might struggle, but I'm not worried about it at this point. Now, if we get to week 1 and Penny Sewell still doesn't look comfortable, then I might have some concerns, but no, not worried at all. The guys' live stream I was in was pretty good, just friendly trash talk. Well, that's good. That's good. But Eagles fans or lose, I wouldn't talk to stuff with them in person. Yeah, I've definitely heard some stories. Well, Brett Forty says, right, this isn't Madden. Ronnie Stanley even said it isn't easy. Exactly. And Ronnie Stanley is arguably the best tackle in football. Like, maybe that's a poor argument, but I think the argument could be made that Ronnie Stanley, at worst, is a top 3 tackle in football. And again, it's not easy. It's like, even any position, any sport, you switch positions, it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's literally a mere opposite of what he's done for his entire life, right? The steps are different, not different, but the steps are reversed. You step with the other foot, you jab with the other hand. It's just different. It's going to be an adjustment period for Penny Sewell, and he's going to be fine. By the preseason, I would assume that Penny Sewell is going to be fine. By the preseason, I would expect Penny Sewell to be locking people down. And I love all the casual people that read these comments, right? And like Penny Sewell was like, oh, it's kind of a little bit more difficult than I might thought it was. Like, he didn't even say it was necessarily difficult. He just said it was more difficult than he thought it was going to be, right? And everybody's like, oh, why are the Lions ruining his career already? Oh, why do you draft this generational talent to not even play his position? As if we were just gonna bench Taylor Decker or move him, like as if we were just going to move a veteran tackle who literally and legitimately played at an all-pro level last year, and we were just going to move his position over just to put a rookie at that spot. Like, the Lions are putting the best 5 offensive linemen on the field, and if any other team did that, they would get praised for it. But because the Lions are moving Penei Sewell, and because he's not an instant transition like the snap of a finger, the Lions have drafted a bust at the 7th overall pick, and they're never, ever going to be good. I love that. I love that people think that way, man. That's so funny. I meant like Todd Gurley coming here because of the RB3 role he can be, especially if Swift or Williams goes down for a while. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, for the right price, I'm 100% with you to bring in Todd Gurley. I saw a really funny Twitter comment the other day. I can't remember who it was by, but somebody was like, Todd Gurley heard that Detroit has some spare kneecaps, so that's why he's visiting or something, and it made me laugh out loud. So that was really funny. Ronnie Stanley is a beast. I wouldn't say best tackle in football, though. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's the best tackle in football, but I think, definitely top 5, probably top 3 tackle in football. So, I mean, I'm trying to think who would be better than Ronnie Stanley. I mean, Ronnie Stanley's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, regardless, there's not too many people I'd take over Ronnie Stanley, especially at left tackle. Even Orlando Brown. Yeah, Orlando Brown can play both, but I believe he played left tackle first, correct? And then didn't he give me a second. I want to say Ronnie Stanley, or not Ronnie Stanley. I want to say Orlando Brown really struggled his rookie year switching to right tackle. And maybe that's not true. And if that's not true, then I must be thinking of somebody else. But I swear he played left tackle in college, I'm pretty certain. And he played right tackle for the Baltimore Ravens because Ronnie Stanley's a beast. But what was his rookie season? 18 maybe? Oh, well, that might not have been it then. Oh, it was. I was just kidding. Maybe he didn't struggle. I mean, didn't play the most snaps. 2019, gave up 3. Ryan Stanley's just a really good, or Orlando Brown is just a really good player. But, his transition was not seamless to right tackle. So I'm not super worried about it. Lunatic says that also Todd Gurley and Goff reunion would be a cherry on top. LMAO. I mean, hey, Brad Holmes has worked with Gurley before, knows what he's up to, know what he's about, and Gurley took him to a Super Bowl. So, again, would not be mad as long as we're not overpaying, which at this point I'm not super concerned about. If we are going to sign somebody, though, I would assume they would wait until all the rookies are signed. I don't know which rookies aren't signed yet. I don't believe Levi is signed. I don't believe Aleem is signed. Oh, no, Aleem has signed. I'm pretty sure Levi Anzuriki is not signed. I'm pretty sure Fetty Melifonwu has not signed yet. And I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown is signed yet. But other than that, I believe all of our rookies have been signed to 4-year contracts. I know Penny has. I know Aleem has. I know Derek Barnes has. And I know for a fact that Jamar Jefferson has. I'm almost certain on those. But like I said, I don't think we'll sign anybody until we get all of our draft players signed. So, yeah. Heck, Jack Conklin was a left tackle coming out of college. That's true. Very, very true. And does he play right tackle now? I would assume so. No, he plays left tackle for the Browns, doesn't he? Oh my, I've had a long day. So Jack Conklin, he plays left tackle, doesn't he? Oh, he plays right. Oh, so Jedrick Wills must play left tackle. Then I had those two reversed. I knew they played the tackles, obviously, but I had them reversed, so that's my fault. But yeah, I mean, Jack Conklin's he's a top right tackle. And yeah, he was a left tackle coming out of college. So again, I'm not super worried about Penei Sewell. If we get to week 1, week 2, then maybe it's a concern, but it is what it is at this point. Jedrick Wills is a freaking dog. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is a very good player. All right, get him down. He says moving up. That's the next one. Lane Johnson did the same thing, and Lane Johnson's like a Hall of Famer almost. Jalen Reeves-Maybin has been a special teams ace in his first 4 years with the Lions, and those skills he used in the open field could get him more playing time on defense. On one play Wednesday, he was the leader of the pack and pursued the ball carrier all the way to the left sideline where there was no other option except to step out of bounds. Jalen Reeves-Maybin is one of my favorite players, not because he's the best, obviously, but Jalen Reeves-Maybin is the guy that I've watched for, as it says, 4 years. I've watched him since his rookie season. I've liked him. I mean, I think he's a special teams ace for sure. And I think he has some athleticism to play a true full-time linebacker position, or at least have a really decent role in the Lions defense. Blue Jay says, I love Jalen Reeves-Maybin 100%. He says 1 Pride 40. You don't like the Sewell pick? I don't think that's what he's saying. From everything I've heard and from talking with 1 Pride 40, I think he likes the pick. It sounded like it when we've talked about it, but or at least on the streams, his comments make it sound like he's a fan of the pick. But again, I'm not super worried. I'm not concerned in the slightest. Let's see, slim down. Oh yes, this was the big storyline of the week. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn mentioned before practice that third-year linebacker Jelani Tavai has lost 17 pounds this offseason and was catching an eye early. Tavai has been playing inside stacked linebacker role most of practice and was slimmed down really noticeably. After a solid rookie season, Tavai took a step back last year, slimmed down to play a new defense. Can Tavai regain his 2019 form? I don't know. 1 Part 40 says, of course, I'm a fan of the pick. Where you get that from, I don't know. Like I said, I was pretty sure you liked the pick. But yeah, I mean, Jelani Tavai slimmed down a lot, as it says. I don't know what his role is going to be because I don't see him as a full-time, 3-down linebacker. I don't think he has the coverage ability for that. And even slimming down 17 pounds, I don't know if he's going to have the speed to necessarily, I guess, be like a 3-down linebacker. But I think goal line situations, he could be good. I think that, short yardage situations, he could be solid. I don't think he's a bad linebacker. And I think a lot of people really hate on Jelani Tavai because he's slow, and absolutely he is slow. But I think Jelani Tavai gets a lot of unnecessary hate because he was drafted in the second round. And that's not Jelani's fault. Like, if anybody hates on Jelani Tavai because he was a second round pick, that's not his fault. If we got Jelani Tavai in the fifth round, like where a lot of people thought he was going to go, I mean, it'd be a good pick. It'd be a solid pickup for the Lions, right? So, I try not to look at Jelani Tavai as where he was drafted so much as what he can actually do and what he can bring to the team. And Jelani, I don't think is a bad player necessarily. I think that he was definitely overdrafted for sure. But like I said, that's on Bob Quinn. That's not on Jelani Tavai. It's not like Jelani Tavai was going to sit there in the second round and say, no, don't draft me. I want to wait till the fifth round so that nobody hates on me for being overdrafted, right? That's not his fault. So if anybody hates on Jelani because he was overdrafted, that's a dumb reason. And I think, Blue Jay Radio says big year for Jelani. I think he's going to improve. I think he's going to get back. Again, impressive rookie season. I thought made some good plays his rookie season. And trimming down, 17 pounds is pretty significant for a linebacker. 17 pounds is really significant for any position, but I'm excited for Jelani Tavai. I think he can definitely have a role. I don't think he's going to be a full-time starter, but I think he's definitely going to have a role in some packages. Him and Derek Barnes, I think, are going to interchange depending on what package and situation we're in. And 140 says, during the draft process, give me tackle or give me quarterback. You gave me tackle, so I'm happy. Sounds like that was, I wasn't a big fan of quarterback, but tackle was my number one for sure. I was with you right there. Talk about changing to 3-4. I think big mistake. Ends can't change to backers, not agile enough, nor speed. Again, I think it's going to look more like a 5-2. I don't think we're going to make our defensive ends cover. I don't think we're going to make them play in space a ton. I think they're going to act mostly as defensive ends, kind of like Von Miller. They play a 3-4. Von Miller is an outside linebacker. Again, Von Miller is, a little smaller, a little faster, a little more agile, but still kind of the same situation. I don't think it's going to significantly hurt either one of them. And who knows, they might not both be on the field at the same time. They might both play, right outside linebacker and just play that jack role, and you rotate both of them around. So, we'll have to see. I'm not going to hate on it until we see it work, and I'm not going to hate on it until we see it in live action. So, but I get what you're saying. I'm not too worried about it just yet. I might need to apologize to Tavai. He shouldn't have been billing at 268. No, he should not have. 268 is really heavy for a linebacker. Blame Patricia for having Tavai at 268. Yeah. Yep. 100%. Tavai, maybe should have said something, but why would Matt Patricia have Jelani playing at almost 270 pounds? Like, there are defensive ends that are not 270 pounds. What is, simply out of curiosity, what is Romeo Okwara? What is Romeo? Romeo Okwara is 263. So, in this perspective, right, Jelani Tavai a season ago played at a heavier weight than our defensive end. He played 5 pounds heavier than our best edge rusher. Because Julian Okwara is 6'4", 263 pounds. And Jelani Tavai is, if it loads, what is Jelani Tavai is definitely not 6'4". Jelani Tavai is 6'2" and was playing at 268 pounds. That is all I need to know about how bad Matt Patricia was. I do blame Patricia for that, but I blame strength and conditioning on the past regime. 100%. I'm with you there. Yeah. I think the blame is not 100% on him, but it's definitely on him. Looney, even in that scheme, he has no business playing. Yeah, 100%. No. Jelani Tavai has no business sitting around 270. That's ridiculous. And then the last takeaway for this week, the last takeaway from week 1 of OTAs was the return man job. Of course, we all know Jamal Agnew left for free agency and went to Jacksonville on a real nice contract. We might get a complimentary pick for that, compensatory pick for that one. And the Lions' new special teams coordinator is, of course, looking for returners. We have a new STC, new special teams coordinator this year. Dave Phipp, pretty good at his job, has had some good returners before, and the Lions are looking for that guy. I think a lot of people assumed it was going to be Khalif Raymond, which I could 100% see. Victor Bolden is another guy that I think is kind of smaller, shiftier, could see that as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a guy that I thought would be a punt returner, but he can definitely do it. Did do some punt returns at USC. And D'Angelo Amos, the safety out of Virginia, is also taking snaps there. So we'll have to see. I think we'll probably see 6-7 guys take punt return snaps in the preseason. And I'm real excited for it. It's 50-50 for the blame. Glenn, like, nah, bro, you need to lose some weight, fam. It's probably what he probably came in and saw Jelani and was like, you kind of big, my guy. I still question if Trey Flowers is fast enough to play linebacker. We'll see. We'll 100% see. I don't think Trey Flowers is in the long-term future for the Lions, like One Pride 40 just said right now. I don't expect Flowers to be here long-term. He has definitely not produced to the level of his contract. He has definitely not produced to, I mean, even a top, he's not even the best edge rusher on our team. And at this point, the Lions, I don't know if they're going to play, 2 edge rushers with 3 interior defensive linemen. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know, because they said they're playing a 3-4, obviously, implying that at least one of our outside linebackers, probably Romeo Okwara, is going to be off the edge. But if Trey Flowers is coming off the edge as well, and it looks like a 5-2 defense, I mean, I think Trey Flowers could get some good production then. But from what I've seen, like, Trey Flowers is just not the guy. Trey Flowers is just not somebody that you're going to want here long-term, especially for a rebuild, because he's kind of an older player. He's taking up a lot of cap space. I don't see him here long-term. That explains why he was so slow. Yeah, I think if I weighed 268 pounds, I would not be the fastest guy either. Yeah, that was questionable decision-making by Matt Patricia. He says, me either. Let's see, is there anything else? This is a good picture of let's see what else we got. Oh, Oruwariye enjoying working with new defensive coaches. I bet he is. I bet stuff is actually starting to actually somewhat make sense now. Suelsa switching to right tackle is a bit of an adjustment, but he loves a challenge. Exactly. Not a big problem at all. Not worried about it. Swift focusing on adding strength and speed to his offseason. That would be big. Swift, obviously, real tough guy to tackle. More of a shifty, elusive running back than a true burner, true speed guy. I thought he had really good contact balance a season ago. I thought he had pretty solid strength. But, I mean, if you could see Swift drop, I don't know, 0.2 seconds, 0.3 seconds off his 40 and could, like, truly transition and become a home run hitter, I mean, you're going to really see him take a huge leap into that next tier of running backs. One part for it says Tavai steps on the scale. It reads 268. Glenn and Campbell, like, damn, get in the weight room, boy. Probably. I bet. Sewell has literally zero character concern. He'll be fine. Yeah, I'm not concerned about him either. Do you think Christian Barmore was still there by the second pick? We would have taken him over Levi. I don't think so. I don't believe we would have, because I think Levi is more of a pass rusher. I think Levi has a far higher upside, and I think day one as a pass rusher, I think you're getting more out of Levi while still having real solid run skills. Don't get me wrong. Christian Barmore is a far better run defender, but I think Levi has a higher ceiling. I think that Levi is more disruptive on passing downs and on rushing downs. I think he has, he's way more disruptive on passing downs for sure, and I think he has that potential to be an elite run defender. I liked Levi's upside. I liked his talent. I liked his skill set way more for the Lions than Barmore. So personally, I would have still taken Levi, and I think the Lions would have taken Levi as well. What is Tavai now? Well, if he drops 17 pounds, I believe that would put him probably like right around 150. No? If he's at 168, drop 17, that's, I mean, no. Am I so bad at math? I mean, you can do the math, whatever. 268 minus 17, that's what it is. Looney Tunes says, I like Levi more than Barmore. Same thing here. I liked him a little bit more. Not that I didn't like Barmore. I just thought what Levi brought to the team was better than what Barmore was going to bring. And I think Barmore day one might have been a better pick, but you're talking long-term upside. I think you're looking at Levi as being a better player. Let's see. Detroit Lions rookie Jamar Jefferson already supporting local Detroit charity. Great to see. I think he's at 151 or something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I didn't know if that math was right because, like I said, long day, but for sure. Tyrell Williams wearing that number 6, trying to make everybody think he is Devontae Smith. Let's see. Melifanu working to maximize his size advantage. That's good to see. Tight ends coach Ben Johnson sees Hawkinson as an ascending player. TJ Hawkinson's a monster. Don't even worry about it. TJ's going to be fine. I think TJ could, no joke, be like a top 3 tight end this year if he's used properly. Let's see. What else do we have today? What else kind of news is out here? Zoom in so y'all can see. Oh, and we will look. So I'm just struggling. All right, there we go. I agree, Looney. Barmore didn't go off till the 4th, and he was irrelevant the first 3. Yeah, that's true too. I think Barmore, I'd say he was a little inconsistent, and like I said, he was definitely doesn't have the upside that Levi has. So let's see. News articles. TJ prime to emerge as NFL's top tight end. I don't know about the best, but I'm thinking top 3 is definitely realistic. Twitter reacts. Fans highly skeptical of Matt Patricia taking over for Bill Belichick. I hope and pray that this happens. If you don't know, if you've not heard, basically Matt Patricia rejoined the Patriots. And basically it seems as though they are kind of grooming him and giving him the responsibilities to take over for Bill Belichick when he leaves or when he retires. Now, first, that of course means that Bill Belichick is contemplating retirement, which is probably a good thing for the NFL. The second thing being that Matt Patricia will be a head coach once again in the NFL. And I cannot wait for that day. Regardless of if Matt Patricia is good or not, I don't really care. I don't think he's going to be good. I think it's going to be probably the same thing here in Detroit because I can tell you what, they're not going to be winning under Matt Patricia very much unless he changes a lot of things. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's really, really funny, though. That's better, Looney, but he should go down to 4. Yeah, I mean, I think Jelentavai said he's still trying to lose like 5 to 10 more pounds. I believe that was part of the whole thing was like, yeah, he's come so far, but I think he's still working to get down a little bit more. But even 250 is not horrible for a linebacker, especially a bigger guy that's more of a run stopper. 250 is not horrible for a linebacker. It's not severely overly weighted. That'll be funny. That will be funny. That will be really, really funny. Lions are in good hands if history repeats itself. Penny is going to be great. He's going to be elite. That's about the range he said he's trying to get down to. Yeah, like I said, I think Jelani said he was trying to get a little bit slimmer, but yeah, I'm happy about it. Can a hungry Jared Goff quickly turn around the Lions? He can. He absolutely can. Levi's fine. Lions expert dishes on Kenny Galladay, Detroit signings. Whatever. Kenny's not here anymore, so I'm not worried about him anymore. What does Josh McDaniels for Pats? Patricia was to be rumored. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. But that 268 thing kind of frustrates me. Yeah, I'm with you there. I am with you there. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, eager to squeeze the most out of our young secondary. We do have a young secondary. And I will say, I think our secondary has some talent, man. I really do. You know, Will Harris, I know a lot of people don't like Will Harris, and I don't love Will Harris. Has not played very well for the Lions. Didn't play very well in the Patricia system. But I will say, if anybody can turn around Will Harris, it's going to be Aaron Glenn. if anybody can make Jeff Okuda into a star, it's Aaron Glenn and Aubrey Pleasant. If anybody can help get Aruwariye to that next level, it's going to be those two guys. Like, our secondary coaches are really, really good. I mean, Aubrey Pleasant has coached Jalen Ramsey. The Rams secondary was really good a season ago. Of course, you have Aaron Glenn, who's coached a lot of good secondary players in the NFL, a lot of experience with good secondaries. If anybody's going to turn this secondary around and if anybody's going to maximize on all the potential and young talent in this secondary, it is going to be those two guys, which is going to be awesome to see. Go Lions says, I like Aaron Glenn. I like Aaron Glenn as well. At Go Lions, not sure if that's the rumor. Fatty Patty was hired the day after we let him go. LOL. Yeah, he kind of came crawling back to Matt Patricia, a little bit defeated. So, can the Lions drastically exceed expectations in 2021? They are going to drastically exceed expectations because it's easy to exceed expectations when the expectations are literally zero. And I just realized that last two was not up on the board, so that's my fault. But yeah, that's kind of the big topics for today. We're not done yet. We're only 40 minutes in. I got time. I got nothing to do the rest of the day except go over my senior projects later. But that can be done on Memorial Day, right? That's what we had the day off for, is to get done last minute work. So yeah, that's fine. It is not a big deal. Let's see. Torrey Petry's leaving. That's another one that was a little bit upsetting. That was another one that really hurt. I like Torrey Petry. I think she did a really good job. I met Torrey Petry once. She was a cool person, cool lady. Really sad to see her go. I don't know where she's going. I'm not quite sure where she's leaving to or where she's going, what job she got or how that's going. But of course, wish her the best. Hope she does some great things. And I don't know. Very excited to see where she goes and see what she does. But I will say that leaves a reporting job open at the Detroit Lions, and I'm not saying I'm a shoe-in for the job, but I'm saying there's a chance. There might be a chance. I doubt it, but that would be pretty cool. There is an opening, so let's see. We will not be 32 on defense, and we won't be 32 on offense. So there will be a better run. I hope so. CBS got us going 4-12 this season. That does not shock me, even though 4-12 would, leave a game out. So I guess the Lions just don't play a game, and the NFL's like, oh well, I guess we just don't count it. If CBS actually has us going 4-12 and not 4-13 or 5-12, I'd laugh really, really hard, because you'd think a really big company could at least kind of know how many games are being played in the NFL, and they definitely just generate a number. They're definitely pick a number between 1 and 5, and it was 4, and they were like, okay, 4-12. They didn't even look at the NFL or the schedule or anything. That's probably what happened. CBS is stupid. She didn't want kneecap soup. Job will be taken up by TJ Lang. LOL. TJ Lang would be sick. TJ Lang would be so cool if the Lions hired him to be our top reporter. That'd be so cool. She will be missed though. Yeah, I'll miss her. I liked her. I liked her stuff. I actually didn't know she had a podcast until the send off video she did. So that's kind of cool. I might have to go check that out. But yeah. But I mean, if TJ Lang takes over as our reporter, that would be so awesome. TJ Lang is hilarious. TJ Lang, I believe. I know he grew up in Michigan. I know he went to Eastern. He played for Detroit for a couple of years. He, I believe, is still involved with the Lions. I think he still does some stuff with their organization, is still kind of around the facility. So if he took over, that'd be really cool. If he took over, that'd be awesome. I'd be very happy to see that. He's my number one guy now. Now, if he doesn't get hired, I'm going to be upset. But Looney Tune, I meant 4-13. I'm not used to the 17 game stuff. LMAO. Yeah, it's a weird transition. It's definitely it's gonna take a season or two to get used to, because we're gonna get to week 16 and we're all gonna be like, oh, that's the season, and then I'm just kidding. We have a 17th game to play versus Green Bay. It's definitely gonna be weird, and all the records are gonna look so strange. I think for the next couple of years, 21, 22, maybe even 23. We're going to see 17 games. We're going to see 12, or we're going to see 4-13, 5-12. We're going to see 13-4, and it's going to look so strange. It's going to look so not real. It's going to look like a video game number, which is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm never, ever going to catch me complaining here. Never going to catch me complaining about more football to watch. So I guess not more football, just more competitive football, because they took a game out of the preseason and pretty much just put it into the regular season. So nothing is truly affected. I think that's a thing that not a lot of people are talking about. And of course, the traditional 4 preseason games kind of give you one game where it's like, yeah, it's kind of a warm up. It's like, yeah, your starters play for a drive, 2 drives, whatever. Your quarterback probably doesn't even play. You can go in, you have some fun, throw a pick, whatever. It is what it is. It's the preseason. Your second game is like, okay, we're getting down to business. Like, we're starting to, kind of heat up. We're starting to see what we have here. We play a half maybe, and we get off the field, we go home. The third game, kind of that dress rehearsal game where you play 3.5 quarters as your starters, and you kind of see where you go from there. You kind of see like what you have, where you are as a football team, and you kind of get a real solid idea of where this team is. And that 4th preseason game is really just for the bubble guys, right? It's really for those guys to, like, that last chance to make the roster. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the preseason changes, because I know not a lot of people watch the preseason, which it is what it is. I watch it for my own reasons. I watch it more to scout individual players, and more so than like the scheme, and more so than like to predicate what I think is going to be, how I think the season's going to play out. But, I think the preseason is going to look different this year. Of course, only having 3 games, maybe you don't see that dress rehearsal game. Maybe you don't see that game where you play 3 quarters as a starter. Maybe you just play 2 quarters and you get out and you give that second half to those bubble guys. No, I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it'll be like super impactful or anything like that, but it'll be interesting to talk about for sure. You heard we signed that UDFA Nebraska running back? I did. I think he's fine. Definitely going to compete for that last running back spot. Obviously, DeAndre Swift is going to have the running back 1. Jamal Williams will probably have running back 2. Jamar Jefferson might have running back 3. That might be the case as of right now. You have my microphone stuff. That's fine. Todd Gurley might be running back 3. Jamar Jefferson might be running back 3. One of those two is probably going to take over. I think he has a chance to make it as RB4. Personally, right now, I think Rakeem Boyd makes it before that. And then, of course, if Todd Gurley, I don't think either UDFA makes it on the active roster. But he's definitely going to have some chances. I'm not counting him out. Stats will be another thing. You get a whole extra game to put up stats. Yeah, that's what Peyton Manning was talking about the other day. He was like, man, that record-breaking offense in 2013, maybe 2014, maybe. Whenever they went to the Super Bowls, like the number 1 offense in the league. I mean, he's like, imagine what we would have put up with 17 games. It's going to be interesting. You're definitely going to see a lot more 5,000-yard passers. I'll tell you that. Probably some more 2,000-yard rushers. I'm shocked Todd Gurley left Derrick Henry without a deal. Derrick. Oh, you meant Detroit. I was like, has he left? Is he like officially gone? Because I know he was there the other day. He might still be working out. He might still be in the building. I don't know. I'm not there, obviously, but he might not be gone yet. And they might be talking about it. And like I said, they might just be waiting to see, like, how much money are we going to have left after we sign our rookies? That's kind of how I think it should be. That's kind of how I think it's going to be and how I think it is. So they might have something set up where it's like, yeah, as long as we have the money that we think we're going to have, we're going to sign you as soon as our last guy is signed. So that might be the case as well. Cap Ice Cold says, we really only need 2 or 3 games, more so for rookies and UDFAs and maybe for the vets that want to kick off the rust. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the preseason, again, I think it's more for the young players. I think it's more for scouting your rookies, more for scouting your UDFA guys. And the preseason is really for those bubble players and those rookies to just kind of get their feet wet in the NFL. Obviously, those bubble players have to prove that they belong on a roster. And The preseason's really just for those guys, and so that your rookies aren't going into week one not ever having played in a real NFL situation or real NFL football game. So that's kind of all it is. I don't think 3 games is going to be like detrimental to anybody. I mean, I would assume by the 4th game, they kind of know who they're going to keep and they kind of know who they're going to cut anyways. But yeah, like I said, 2 to 3 games, like you said, 2 to 3 games should be plenty of time. Shouldn't really be a big deal for the Detroit Lions. Shouldn't be a big deal for anybody. There might be some salty UDFA players or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you didn't prove yourself, if you haven't solidified your spot after the 3rd game anyway, you're probably not going to make the roster, unfortunately enough. So, are all the rookies signed? It doesn't seem like everyone did their contract. I don't think everybody is signed. I'll look and see. Detroit Lions contracts. Over the Cap should have updated stuff. They're usually pretty up to date. I apologize for my dog being loud in the background. Not everybody has signed. I mean, I knew that, but I don't know exactly who is signed. So let's zoom in on this just a teeny bit. Too much black outline. Go one more. Actually, if we go 400, it's fine because that gives you dead cap. That's fine. That works great, actually. So I mean, if you were curious about the salary cap, if anybody else is here too, but Penei Sewell is signed, so that's our first rounder. You got, let's see, you have. I know for a fact that Aleem McNeil is signed, so that's 2 rookies. I almost said Quintez Cephas. Let's see. Is that it? There's no way. I know Jermar Jefferson has signed. And Levi Anzuriki has signed. So is Afedi. So wait, is that right? Oh, huh. So apparently, I missed this. Apparently, Jermar Jefferson was signed. I knew that one. Supposedly, Levi is signed, Afedi has signed, and Amon-Ra have signed. And Derek Barnes is down here. So it says everybody is signed, but I would have thought the other rookies would have made more money, I guess. I would have thought that, especially Levi would have made more money. But if according to Over the Cap, yeah, everybody has been signed. How do you feel about Charles Harris out of Alabama next year? Oh, Christian Harris, sorry. Out of Alabama next year, we could potentially take him with our first round pick, especially with our need at the position. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I haven't looked at all. I haven't even started the 2022 class yet. Obviously, I know Spencer Rattler. Obviously, I know Sam Howell. Obviously, I know Kayvon Thibodeau, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. The big names, I know. I don't know Christian Harris necessarily. Not to say he's not a big name or anything, but unless they're real big name faces of college football right now, I don't really know a whole lot about them at this point in time. So I couldn't answer that question. We only got 1 primetime game next season. Technically, you got 2 because Thanksgiving is always a primetime game. But yeah. So there's that. Safety more of a need. Safety's definitely a need. He's a linebacker. We'll see. We'll see how linebackers play this year. We smacking the Bengals. I hope so. I really, really hope so. So what is... Now I'm really curious. Levi Anzuriki contract. What did he sign? Patrick reports that Anzuriki's contract with the Lions is set at a total value of $8.14 million. I'll zoom on that one for a little bit, just for you guys. So it says Levi Anzuriki's contract with the Lions is set at a total of $8.14 million with a guaranteed signing bonus of $3.2 million. Of course, if he truly excels during his time in Detroit, he'll have the opportunity to sign for a more valuable contract later on. So that's that. We know Aleem signed, which means Ifeatu Melifonwu. I don't know if that's how you say it or not. Okay, so he must not have signed because there's no way he signed a 1-year contract. So Afeti must not be signed yet. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown contract. Amon-Ra signed a 4. Oh, that's Equinemius. That's not Amon-Ra. What the heck? I'm getting pranked out here. Okay, so he must not have signed his either. So Afeti or Ifeatu, I don't know how you say it. I've heard it both ways. So Melifonwu, St. Brown, they haven't signed. Derek Barnes has not signed either. And then I know Dramar has. So really the only one we didn't. So we only have 2 rookies that aren't signed yet, being the wide receiver and the cornerback. But I have no doubt that they'll be signed. So, I mean, obviously they'll be signed. That's not a bad contract for a rookie. I like it. We need to have enough money for free agents. I'm 100% with you on that, depending on the rest. Yeah. I don't think anybody is like, I didn't think any of the Detroit Lions signings, like even the contracts they gave out to draft picks, I didn't think any of them were super high. I actually thought that Penny Sewell's contract was kind of low. Who was the 7th overall pick last year? NFL draft 2020. Who was the 7th overall pick a year ago? Because Okuda was 3. You have Thomas at 4. Okay, so Derek Brown was the 7th overall pick last year. Derek Brown contract. And obviously position of value and all that. I understand. Oh, okay. Derek Barnes signed for actually less. I guess I thought that the 7th overall pick got a bigger contract than 4 years, $24 million. He did get more guaranteed though, so there's that. But I would have thought it was more, but I'm not complaining, obviously. So there's always that, I guess, I suppose. Let's see what's going on in the world. As people start commenting, we're getting kind of slow here. We do have 26 people in the chat, so I know you're out there listening. Let's see. They're going for smart money and deals with players. Not mad at all. No, not mad at all. I think that's very, very important. And I think it's very smart by them too. I think it's incredibly smart by them. Let's see. Jamie Collins, key to Detroit Lions defensive resurgence. He'll definitely be a starter, definitely be a role player. So look out for Jamie. In Brad Holmes, we trust. Yes, we do. In Brad Holmes, we do 100%, in fact, have faith. So I'm ready. Crosby's a no-show for OTAs. That's interesting. I did not know this. Let's see. Let's read about it. 24/7 Sports has never let me down before. It says, this is interesting. I didn't know this. I didn't know Tyrell wasn't here. So when the Detroit Lions drafted Oregon Duck offensive tackle Penei Sewell, the 7th overall selection in April, many assumed Sewell would become the team's long-term option at left tackle. The Lions, nobody thought that he was going to be a left tackle. Nobody at all thought that, by the way. Just to be clear, nobody with a brain thought that Penei Sewell was going to be a left tackle. Which is instead the Lions are putting Sewell at right tackle, which has put another former Oregon Duck in a tough spot. Lions starting right tackle Tyrell Crosby started 11 of 16 games during 2020. I thought he played pretty well. He won the job from returning starting Halapoloti Vaitai and had a really solid season. I guess returning from injury, but Vaitai wasn't a returning player. That's fine. Now Sewell being groomed for right tackle. Crosby hasn't shown up for Lions organized team activities. His future of the franchise is a bit unknown. So the Lions are reportedly exploring their options, including a possible trade. So there you go. I didn't know that. Did not know that. He says, sorry, I'm working, but here you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know we got some people in here. We got some people going, so we'll see. But that's big. I didn't know that. Bengals fans saying they're beating us. No, they're not. They shouldn't. They should not beat us. But, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Everybody thinks they're going to beat the Lions, though, which, yeah, I get that we're the Detroit Lions, but at the same time, they're the Cincinnati Bengals. They're the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are in a way worse situation now than the Lions are. Like, I'm not kidding you. The Lions are a way better football team right now than the Eagles. I think they're a better football team right now than the Bengals. They're definitely better than the Texans. They're probably better than the Jets, although I think the Jets have a pretty bright future in their own right. I just don't see it, man. I don't get it. Fans are cocky, I get that, but realistically, I genuinely don't see them beating us. I hope we can get at least a fourth for Crosby. I feel like he deserves a chance to at least start somewhere else. He also put Chase Young in his place. I just dropped something, and I don't know where it went, so that's okay. We'll find it later. We will find it after the stream because nobody wants to see me looking for a paperclip. I thought Tyrell Crosby had some good moments last year. I think he's definitely warranted at least a fourth. I don't know how willy-nilly people are going to be willing to give out like a third-round pick. I guess we could look at history of offensive line and trades. Because I just don't know. Like, if I had a history book of like, this tackle went for this or that tackle went for that, then I'd know what's up. I'd know what to expect. It's going to be interesting to see an offensive and defensive scheme in action. Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. With the increased game, shouldn't the NFL expand their rosters 5 off 5 defense, allow rest for starters? I don't know. It makes sense to me. What kind of dog do I have? I have a schnauzer, a miniature schnauzer. And he's loud. He's usually very loud, which I still love him. But, yeah. Let's see. NFL draft history. I said I don't want draft history, though. I don't want, like, trades. I don't know. I think a fourth-round pick is pretty solid for Crosby. I think maybe, like, a team's really desperate. NFL depth charts. I'm just going to go through some depth charts just to see who's where and what's going on with everybody. Let's see. Extremely blazing hot take. We go to the NFC Championship next season. That's not blazing hot. That's like surface of the sun level hot take. So, no, I don't think so. So when looking at offensive linemen, my first thought, there he goes again. My first thought was Cincinnati. That was my first thought. One part 40 says, do want Joe Burrow to have a long career, but I guess that's not the case. Definitely doesn't seem like it. So we have, like, when you think an offensive lineman trade, my first thought was Cincinnati, but see, their tackles are kind of the strength of their offensive line, which isn't saying much. Yeah, you had a pocket. Like, it doesn't say a whole lot to say that the tackles are the strength of their team, but I don't think the Bengals would give a whole lot up for that. I don't know. You guys can't really see that, can you? I can go in one more. I can read that now. Like Jonah Williams, I think is coming off a injury-riddled season, but he was pretty solid coming out of college. And then Riley Reif, like, isn't bad. He's not horrible. He's not great. Obviously, he's not very, I wouldn't say he's top end tackle, but he's not horrible. So the Bengals probably won't. They're going to get mauled in the interior, though. I don't know if they play the Rams this year, but if they do, Joe Burrow better just sit on the bench. Miami, maybe Miami, but I don't think so. The Jets are an interesting one because I don't think the Jets have a great O-line even after Elijah Vera Tucker. And I'm pretty sure Elijah Vera Tucker is going to play guard for them. I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, Mekhi Becton's pretty freaking good. But yeah, Elijah Vera Tucker is going to be their left guard. Their center's not great. Their right guard's not great. Their right tackle, I think, no joke, I think Crosby could beat out George Fant. I think they could. I don't know if they'd make that trade, but I think Tyrell Crosby could start on the Jets. He could probably start on the Bengals. I think he'd start over Riley Reef at right tackle. Baltimore doesn't really need the help. We already went over Cincinnati. Cleveland definitely does not need the help. Pittsburgh could be interesting. Who does Pittsburgh have? Let's see. Dude, what are these tackles? Pittsburgh might give up a third, man. I don't even know who this is, bro. Chukwuamu Okafor? I don't even know who that is. And then right tackle, Banner Zach. Zach Banner. Who's Zach Banner, bro? That sounds like Bruce Brand. That sounds like the Hulk's underrated cousin. The first game of the season gonna go off, especially with the crowd. Yeah, I'm super excited for week 1, man. It's gonna be so fun. LMAO, when was the last time we had a night game at home? Probably the opener of Matt Patricia's tenure. Probably that night, Monday night. Was it Monday night or was it just Sunday night? I can't remember. Probably that opening night to the Jets where we got smoked. So, yeah. Yeah, they saw that and they were like, yeah, let's not do that again. Let's not put the Lions on national television more than we have to. Indianapolis is probably fine. Tennessee, maybe Tennessee. Tennessee might. I will say Tennessee might give up something just to kind of replace what they were trying to get in Isaiah Wynn. Or not Isaiah Wynn, in the Georgia tackle that they drafted 2 years ago now. Denver's possible. Vegas is possible. I doubt the Chargers will. Oh, yeah, that game was obviously not memorable. LMAO. I try not to remember it more than I have to. Seattle could. I mean, there's some solid teams that I think could trade for Tyrell Crosby. I think Pittsburgh could give up more. Houston could give up more. Tennessee could give up something decent if they like Tyrell. Denver's an option, I think. Vegas is an option. I think Seattle's an option, potentially. Arizona, maybe. I don't know their offensive line very well. Tampa Bay, absolutely not. New Orleans, probably not. Carolina, maybe, but probably not. Atlanta, no. And we're not trading within division. Washington, maybe. Philadelphia, maybe. But I kind of don't want to trade to Philadelphia just because their fans are being obnoxious. New York, possibly. Dallas, possibly. I think there's a lot of possibilities, right? I think there's a lot of trade talks. If we look at Tyrell Crosby, I don't know what's happening, but see, all that's right now is rumors. There hasn't been I don't even think there's been a confirmed. I went to images, not news. I don't think there's been a confirmed thing about it. Other Bolden here is Tyrell Crosby, currently in the middle of the trade rumors, unclear. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Tyrell Crosby's in an interesting situation. I like Tyrell. I really do. I think Tyrell Crosby is a very good player. I think Tyrell Crosby is a guy that could genuinely start for several NFL teams. He's just not going to start for our team. So, that's just kind of the situation he's in. He's kind of been put in that awkward situation. It's he's good, but the Lions need great. So, I don't know. Cincinnati, Payout Time says, hey, how you doing, buddy? I'm glad to see you in here. Why was I thinking the Patriots? Patriots are possible. Hope Gurley signed for the Lions. I talked about this before. I think if they sign him to the right deal, I would definitely not be mad. If they sign him to like a league minimum, veteran minimum, it'd be hard to be mad at that deal because Todd Gurley could, no joke, be our running back 3 and get, I don't know, 100, 150 carries this season. Get 8 carries, 7 carries a game as RB3 just to take the load off DeAndre, just to take the load off Jamal Williams, kind of even out, spread out those touches, spread out that, spread out the punishment a little bit. I would not be mad at all. I'd be happy with that signing, of course. And if, the way Dan Campbell's been giving out signings, the way Dan Campbell has been giving out contracts, I don't see a world. I don't see an outcome where we give Todd like a 4-year deal for like $50 million or whatever stupid stuff Bob Quinn would do. But yeah, I hope Todd Gurley signs too. I bet you the next time we play New Orleans, it'll be a primetime game. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked at all. That's all Todd Gurley can get these days. He still has a nose for the end zone. That's true as well. Sometimes it's his nose for the end zone is to a fault. But yeah, he's definitely scored some good touchdowns. At least I hope so, lol. I hope so too. I think if the Lions win 7 to 9 games like I project them to, I think they'll get some more primetime games. They just have to show that they can be entertaining. They just have to show that they can entertain people and that they can draw in viewers. And that's not going to happen until they start winning football games. It's not going to happen until they get national recognition. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see for sure. But I mean, the only way they're going to get primetime games is if they start winning. And, they got to do that first. So. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I love primetime games for the Lions. I love seeing all that. And I mean, hey, the last time they were on a primetime game that was not Thanksgiving, the whole world got to see exactly how much help the Packers get and exactly how much anti-help the Lions get. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Last time we were on primetime, though, it was not very good for the Lions. Gurley already won a game for the Lions, lol. Don't really want him on the team. I'll take him on the team. Lol, for sure. We need to get primetime games in Detroit. That would be dope. That'd be fun. All of our primetime games are outside Detroit, too, I feel like. Lambeau this year, that's our only primetime Monday night game. That's in Lambeau. The last time was in Lambeau. Let's see what. The Jets one was at home, but that was not really fun. Paya Time says, I'm a Rams YouTuber and have concerns that Goff will have a bad season. Goff without McVay is concerning. I mean, we've never seen Goff without McVay other than in college. And in college, he was worthy of the number 1 overall pick. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I think Anthony Lynn can scheme up some good things. I think Anthony Lynn can scheme up some good plays, some good play calls. I think he can get Jared Goff comfortable early. Let him be a game manager. Let him do what he needs to do. And, from what I've heard, Jared Goff is like pretty solid so far in training camp or in OTAs. So I'll be happy. I'm happy with what I've heard so far. Did you read the Sports Illustrated article where the author says St. Brown having less of a chance than Adams of making the team? I found it far-fetched, but he had some good points. Nope. St. Brown's going to make the team. St. Brown's fine. St. Brown is fine. Oh, that's a good point. I forgot that. Yeah, but Jeff Fisher's like almost worse than Matt Patricia. Like, don't even get me started. Jeff Fisher is almost as bad as Matt Patricia. So that doesn't really count. All right. I'm not going to take that. I have a lot of hot takes for this team, LMAO. I look forward to seeing it. Nah, St. Brown's going to be fine. Getting back to Rob Swift's comment, he's going to be fine. St. Brown is going to be a starting wide receiver in this team. He is. He's going to be probably a starting slot. He's shifty. He's pretty much Golden Tate. He's fine. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be a good wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to be a good wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. Plus, he's already signed a 4-year contract, so it's kind of hard to cut him now. Oh, no, he hasn't. No, he is not. He's going to. He's going to make the team. Hot take number 2, Jared Goff throws 30 touchdowns next season. Has Jared Goff ever thrown 30 touchdowns? I mean, I'm sure he has. Probably 2018. Jared Goff. Let's see. Fair enough, lol. Fisher is brutal. Yeah, trust me, we know something about poor coaching here in Detroit. We know something about poor coaching here in the Motor City. It's not fun, is it? Do the Lions win more or less than 8 games? I think the Lions win right around 8 games. I think it's going to be 7-9. That's where I am right now. Okay, Jared Goff's only thrown 30-plus touchdowns once. That is a bold take. Looney Tune. I think the Lions can win 8 games. I think they're going to be right around that 7-9, right around that 500 threshold. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. If they're over, then I'd definitely be more surprised if they were over than under. But I think they would. I think they have the talent to get over. I think they have the talent to get 9 wins. And if they're lucky, if they're super lucky, maybe then, like if they have some really, really good game at the end of the season, then maybe they have a chance at 10. But I'd be highly suspect of that. One of our biggest problems before was because we settle for players or we beg them to come. Now we got players coming to us as we move together, as we move forward. It'll get better. I agree. Dan Campbell has that effect. It's the Dan Campbell effect. I talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. Dan Campbell is a guy that you want to play for. Dan Campbell is a guy that gets you ready, gets you wanting to play football. And those 83 players at training camp, those 83 players at OTAs, when they don't have to be there, is proof enough for me that those players want to be here and that they want to play for Dan Campbell. We don't have any opt-outs. We don't have anybody like Darius Slay or Snacks Harrison that's just going to take the OTAs off and is going to come in a little rusty, a little behind the 8 ball. No, we're not going to have nobody like that. All of our stars are in the building. All of our big-time players, except for Tyrell Crosby, are there. We're going to be just good. We're going to be good to go. How many games to get into the playoffs? It was a total of 9 before, so you need 10 now. I don't know. I have no idea. Hot take number 3. Oh, excuse me. Lions have a top 10 rushing offense next season. That's possible. That's probably your coldest take yet. That's probably your coldest take. You're getting colder with these. I was expecting them to go up from the NFC Championship one. That might be your coldest one. The Lions have probably a top 5 offensive line talent-wise in the NFL. Thank you, pay all time. The Lions are probably a top 5 offensive line unit in the NFL, top 10 at worst. Swift is really good. Jamal Williams is really good, especially for goal line short yardage situations. The Lions could have a top 10 rushing attack. They have the talent to do it for sure. Who's the Lions' best player on defense? Definitely Romeo Okwara. Romeo Okwara, our edge rusher last year, top 10 in sacks, top 10 in TFLs, I believe. Had 3 forced fumbles, had a safety. Dude had a really good, very underrated season last year for the Lions. He's a building block. He's 27. He's young. We just signed him 3 more years. Romeo's definitely our best player on defense. He's our building block. He's kind of our cornerstone. Quote me on this one. When coaches like Deuce move on to become my coaches, we will have coaches fighting to come here for Detroit. I think so, man. I really do. Deuce Staley is a really good running backs coach. I think, is he the assistant head coach as well? I want to say Deuce Staley is the assistant head coach, and I could be incorrect about that, but let me see. Deuce Staley. I know he's the running backs coach, if nothing else. I know he is. Let's see. Detroit Lions, Deuce Staley. I think he is, but I could be wrong. All right, hot take. We sweep the Packers with air. That is a hot take. That one's going back up a little bit. I'm starting to feel the heat just a little bit. Okay, so he is the assistant head coach. Yeah, I think Deuce Staley's going to get a job somewhere else probably soon. We're going to have Deuce for like a year, 2 years max. And, I mean, that's probably all we need him for because DeAndre Swift's going to be good. Jamal Williams is already probably good. Jamar needs some development. Our 4th running back's going to need some development. But Deuce is going to get him all right. Deuce is going to get him already. And he's going to probably move on to being OC somewhere. We're going to pick up some complimentary picks, and we are going to we're going to pretty much be rolling. And whoever's coming back, whoever's going to be here for our running backs job is there. I think there's going to be quite a few people in contention. I think there's going to be quite a few people looking out for that job. So, yeah, we'll definitely see. Definitely excited to see on that one. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that this team, roster-wise, the way they're building it is going to be enticing to coaches. And just Dan Campbell is just the guy that he calls you on the phone and you can probably tell, like, oh, like, I want to be around this man every single day, every single practice, every game day. I'm trying to work for this guy. Like, I think that's just the kind of coach and just kind of the person that Dan Campbell is. And that's not going to stop anytime soon. Dan Campbell's biggest trait was, I'm building the team. I'm bringing people in. So if Rodgers leaves the Packers, do you see the situation the Lions can compete for the division? I genuinely do, because I think if Aaron Rodgers leaves, the North is going to be fairly weak. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, MVP quarterback, coming off an MVP season. I don't know how good the Minnesota Vikings are going to be. I think they're probably like a 7 to 9 win team as well. Maybe an 8 to 10, 8 to 11 win team. They'll probably take the division if Rodgers leaves. The Bears, I don't think are crazy. The Bears, I think, are okay. They have a solid roster. I mean, Khalil Mack is really good, obviously. You have Roquan, who's really good. Kyle Fuller's gone. Eddie Jackson's still really good. Their offense isn't great. Allen Robinson, good player. I don't think really wants to be in Chicago, but he's there. He's going to play hard. Ty Montgomery is fine, I suppose. Or not Ty Montgomery. David Montgomery is fine, I suppose. Justin Fields is a good quarterback, but I don't know how that offensive line is going to protect him for 4 quarters or for the season. I think the Bears are okay. I think the Bears are, I don't know if I want to say the worst team in the division, because I know everybody's going to come back and be like, oh, the Lions are the worst team in the division. Like, it is what it is. It's fine. I think the Bears are probably the worst team in the division, if I had to say it. Or I think the Packers without Aaron Rodgers are probably the worst. The Packers without Aaron Rodgers, I think, have a lot of flaws. Their defense was not incredible a year ago. Devontae Adams is really good, of course. Aaron Jones is really solid. They just lost an all-pro center who they didn't really replace, as far as I know, or at least nothing. They didn't replace him significantly with like a huge-time free agent signing or like a big-time draft player. I think the Packers are the worst team in the division if Aaron Rodgers leaves. So I think you could see the Lions in that second place in contention for the division, maybe like going into like week 15, maybe week 16. But realistically this year, even if Rodgers leaves, I think the Lions are a year or two away from being division contenders and division champs. But I don't think they're going to be as far away as people think they're going to be. I like the sweeping of the Packers. I don't know, man. They've Aaron Rodgers has had our number for a long time, so we'll see. We'll see. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, I think we sweep the Packers pretty easily, honestly. But if Aaron Rodgers stays, I mean, it's been said before, it'll be said again. He is a bad man. So, yeah, it'll be tough to beat. The start of this team being good is owning your division, like how New Orleans does every single year. Exactly. That's exactly how it is. Most of the good teams in the NFL, most of the Super Bowl champions were divisional champions first. The Kansas City Chiefs won the AFC West before they won the Super Bowl. You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers obviously didn't win their division, but they were a good team. They were second in their division. They won, I think, all of their divisional games outside of New Orleans, who ended up winning that whole division anyways. You know, New Orleans went on to the second round of the playoffs. Tampa Bay went on to win the whole thing because they had a very good team. But, you know, that was a top team in a tough division. Carolina won their division before they went to their Super Bowl. Denver won their division before they won their Super Bowl, right? I mean, you have Philadelphia. They went 13-3. They won their division before they won a Super Bowl. Like, that's the first step to being Super Bowl champs, is you have to be able to compete and win out in your division. And that's where a lot of good teams start and end. They have our number in 19 because the refs, LOL. Yeah, that's true. 100%. I'm with you there. But Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback, I will say. I'm not afraid to tell you that Aaron Rodgers, pretty good at being an NFL quarterback. Pretty solid at that. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. LMAO, New Orleans really fooled versus Tampa Bay in the division. Really folded. Yeah, they did. Drew Brees is a great quarterback. Playoff Drew Brees is not a great quarterback. How would you rank our O-line, QB, running back, tight end, and wide receivers in the North? O-line is one. O-line is definitely number one. The Lions have the deepest and best offensive line in the NFC North. The Packers are probably close behind because David Bakhtiari is really solid, but I think losing out on Corey Linsley this offseason with the Lions adding Penei Sewell, I think the Lions have the best O-line in football, or not in football, but I think they definitely have the best O-line in the North. QB, right now, I'll take Jared Goff over Justin Fields. Maybe not long term, but I think this year, rookie season, I'll take Jared Goff over Justin Fields just because he's a rookie, just because he hasn't played before, and just because the Bears do not have a super quarterback friendly system. I'll take Jared Goff over Jordan Love. I will. I'll take Jared Goff over Jordan Love or anybody that's not named Aaron Rodgers at the Green Bay Packers. And I wouldn't say I'll take over Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is an underrated quarterback. I'm not afraid to say that Kirk Cousins is a good player, a good quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, I think the Lions have the second best quarterback in the North. And I think if Aaron Rodgers stays, the Lions have the third best quarterback in the North. Now, running back, Dalvin Cook is definitely one. I would say that Aaron Jones is probably number two just because of what he has accomplished in the NFL, because he's a little bit more proven than DeAndre Swift. But DeAndre Swift is definitely the third running back in the NFL in the North. TJ is number one. TJ is the best tight end in the North. Wide receiver, we're probably last. I'm not going to lie. We're definitely last as far as wide receiver. Devontae is nasty. Thielen and Jefferson are a disgusting duo. Even Allen Robinson is really, really good. So the Lions hold the last wide receiver spot, but O-line, they're one. Tight end, they're one. Quarterback, they're 2-3. I don't think Rodgers returns, but if he does, then we're third. And running back, we're probably third. I think you can make the argument that maybe DeAndre Swift has more upside than Aaron Jones, and with a better O-line could do better. But I'll take Aaron Jones right now. I'd feel more comfortable with Aaron Jones at 2. Who's your second favorite team? I don't really have like a second favorite team. The way I kind of watch football is like I pick somebody in every matchup to root for, but I don't really have like a team that I love. Like I love the Detroit Lions. I don't have a team that I support in the way that I support the Detroit Lions. They're my number one team. They're my only team that I truly care about. I do like the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are a fun team to watch. They're one of my favorite teams in the AFC. The Browns, just because of that connection with Detroit, both being bad for so long, the Browns kind of give me a little bit of hope that we can be better. But I do like the Browns a lot. I do like them as a team. I like the fact that obviously they went from 0-16 to divisional round playoff team in 2 years, 3 years maybe. I kind of like that they turned their whole thing around. I like the Browns a lot. I like Baltimore. I like Buffalo. I try not to pick other teams in the NFC to root for because obviously my Lions are in the NFC and I can't root for another NFC team. Really, I'd feel very awkward about that. But yeah. You don't have a soft spot for the Rams because of Stafford. I have a soft spot for Stafford. I don't really care. Like, no offense. I don't really care too much for the Rams. They're just not really my team. They're obviously out in LA. I don't watch a lot of Rams games. I don't get a lot of Ram games out here in Michigan. I love Stafford. I'm always going to root for Stafford. So if that makes you feel better, I love Stafford. He's still my favorite quarterback. Stafford's still my favorite quarterback over Jared Goff, even though Stafford's not a Lion anymore. So I definitely have a soft spot for Stafford. I'll always have a soft spot for him. That's why the jersey's right there. Do you believe Goff is our future, or would you take a QB in a few years? I will answer that at the end of the season. I will answer that. Actually, that's not even it. I'll answer that by week 9. By week 9, I will have an answer for you if Goff is the QB of the future. I think he can be, but I'm not going to guarantee it. Are you going to any games this year? I hope so. I'm hoping to go to a couple games. I'd love to go to the LA game. I'd really love to go to the LA game, but it's not happening. I'm not flying out to LA for the Lions to get their teeth kicked in. But I'd definitely like to go to a game or two this year. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll have to check because if you don't know, I'm going off to college, so I'll be really busy playing sports and studying, and keeping up with this will be a challenge. But if I get time over the weekend, if I get time one weekend and there's tickets available, or if the Lions invite me to go to a game, I'll definitely go. I'd love to go to as many games as possible this year. I'm hoping to get to at least one, if not two, and who knows, maybe more if the Lions invite me a time or two. No offense taken. Yeah, I figured, but I mean, if somebody said they didn't like the Lions, like, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't take offense. People say the Lions suck right to my face, and I don't really care because it's their opinion, right? I mean, if everybody liked the same things and thought the same way, the world would not be a fun place. And it wouldn't be any fun to debate or talk sports. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's reaching in the hour 30 mark. I am kind of tired. My voice is leaving me. You can probably hear my voice getting a little raspier right now. So I think this might be where we cut it off in a couple of minutes. I'll answer these last couple. He says, good luck in college. I appreciate it. I wouldn't hate if Goff is the long-term QB, mostly because I didn't hate Goff. I think he's good enough, and we could always have Andy Dalton. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, Goff, not a bad quarterback. Definitely can be the long-term solution. We'll just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that is all we got for you guys today. My voice is getting tired. My voice is leaving me just a little bit. I got some stuff to go work on. I got senior projects to do for my last week of school. So the uploads might be a little inconsistent next week as well. I'm going to try to get as many out as I can. But next week, sports are done for a while. School is done forever. High school is done forever. I'm going to have a ton of videos coming out over the summer. I'm going to have a ton of videos coming out over the next couple of months. So stay tuned. Going to have a lot of content for you guys to watch. And of course, with OTAs, training camps, and preseasons coming around, we're going to have a lot to talk about. So that being said, thank you all so much for showing out. Thank you for the 22 that are still here. And thank you for everybody that popped in during the entire live stream. I apologize for starting late. If you guys like the later start, let me know. I can always do this for more streams. But with all that, I think that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for coming out and watching the stream with me. Thank you all for talking some Lions football. A little bit of Rams football as well in there. But with that being said, that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow with some more Lions content. Thank y'all for watching.